chance, no loophole, no escape for a sufferer man. 'Cause every time I lift my head above water, I'm trying to save myself from drown. There's an overnight scheme all worked out, designed to keep me down. Still I'm putting up a resistance. I'm gonna work it out. You know I'm putting up a resistance. I've gotta work.
And once more, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. You're listening to the program You and I on PSA, exclusively on the Street 91.9 FM, and it's hosted by the Public Services Association of Trinidad and Tobago. And we are here Mondays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I am Christopher Jofield, first Vice President of the PSA, here with Comrade Ian Murray, the second Vice President, along with Comrade Bruce, Wayne, and Antonio, our Director.
We'd like to begin by saying a special good morning to all our hard-working public officers, as usual, that are tuned in. All our PSA members, the entire membership, our General Council reps, our JCC staff side reps, the National Executive of the PSA, and a special morning to our President, Sir Watson Duke. Good morning. The program is geared towards highlighting the concerns of public officers and the restoration of respect and the status of the public service, to halt, even reverse, or slow down the systematic dismantling of the public service that is currently taking place, and try to correct that perception in the minds of the citizenry that they have of the public service being, a bunch of
that the public service is dysfunctional and that it should be replaced with something else in the form of contract work. That's the truth of the matter.
I hear
but
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Trinidad and Tobago, that is a big lie. It is a lie that is being foisted upon the population in an effort to justify the introduction of contract work and the privatization of the various functions that are performed by the public service in an effort for the invisible few to get their fat fingers on the finances of this country.
Yes, the program is an interactive one. We invite you to call in and contribute at any time during the discussion using the following telephone numbers: 622-9154, 622-3303, 631-0219, and 639-0791.
And for a lot of us, because the public service has been there with us for all these years, the civil service has been just in existence and performing a service to the citizenry without the ordinary citizen understanding what makes the civil service function as effectively and efficiently as it used to. Because people never really studied what does make this thing work. But what makes it work is a service commissions department, which is responsible for hiring, firing, and discipline. What makes it work is a CPO, a personnel department, which is responsible for all grievances. Whenever those grievances occur, the classification of all the jobs to keep them relevant with the needs of the country as the country evolves into first worldism with these tall buildings and standards, and to ensure that salaries keep pace with the demands of
With
the
inflation,
economy.
basically.
Yeah.
With inflation.
With inflation. And you have also what keeps the public service running efficiently is an office of an ombudsman that has a responsibility to bring to the attention of the various arms within the public service whenever certain wrongs are done, administrative wrongs are done. And you have your permanent secretaries who are supposed to be the operatives. They are like the CEO in organizations and private sector. And they would have been responsible for the manpower management and the fulfillment or the rolling out of the policy makers' plans and projects when they are discussed and approved at the level of Parliament. But over time, these agencies have been allowed to rust away, to fall into disuse and impotence, and resigning themselves to a yes, yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir mode of conduct when the policymakers decided that we will privatize or we will devolve all the functions that these agencies are supposed to provide to ensure that the public service functions efficiently.
It's a type of neglect.
Yes, it is neglect. A kind of dereliction of duty on their part. One that has come to a place where there is a very high ratio of contract work due to the failure to fill the vacancies in this service
but
in the interest of the citizens.
And the classification, that job that the CPO is supposed to be doing, that classification and keeping the service relevant. You know, back in the day when it didn't have computers, the system actually used to work. Computerization, the new technology that we have, supposed to improve those services, help them to be more efficient, and for you to get more speedy service and access to information. But a lot of these departments, like the service commissions and CPO, and a lot of the work is still being done manually.
But comrade,
and they never improve.
But comrade, they have also neglected the comptroller of accounts division to the extent that when persons retire after 33 and a third years of service to the state and to the citizens, 2 and 3 years pass before they could even get the first pension payment.
You know,
their pension and leave records is in a mess.
Imagine. Now, let's take a simple thing like getting a certificate of good character from the police service. You have to go and take fingerprint. And you still have to go in the police station, they carry you in the back, and they're taking your hand and dipping it in this thing and sticking it on a paper, and that certificate taking you 6 weeks to get, right? And it only valid for 6 months. So if you need a next one again, you would think, well, all right, the police have my fingerprints. No, you gotta go through the same thing again. Police take you, carry it on in the back, dipping your hand in the sink, and putting it on the paper again, and then get a piece of soap until you go by the
it is
pipe
aimed
in the
at,
back there and wash your hands.
It has an aim behind all of that.
Come on. The police service is part of the public service, folks. But
we're talking about
in 2017, boy.
We're talking about effective service delivery. We're talking about when a citizen go to make a report, that they are treated in such a way that they don't feel that they have transferred from the position of victim to that of culprit. And the way they are being treated is an indication that they have failed to do the kind of training for the officers, so that the officers will treat the citizens with the degree of respect that they need,
Comrade, I think
that they expect, rather.
In this day and age, and I just keep hammering it home, after 2 oil booms and the kind of money that passed through this country, when you go to the police station and say, what's your name? Ian Murray? Let me see your ID. Okay, they should go on a computer. Once I do my fingerprint already in the past and just type in my name, my fingerprints come up and they run it through the crime system and see whether I had anything on me or not. And once nothing come up, they say, okay, here, look your certificate, print. And I on my way.
Why?
15 minutes, not 6 weeks.
Why have they taken the approach of making the public service appear to be so backward that the ordinary citizen have to ask himself, oh God, do I have to go and line up again? Lord Father, why is it that some places, when you come for a birth certificate, you can't just get that as the policymakers say you should? And one has to ask oneself if it is not a deliberate attempt to make the civil service look so poor in terms of service delivery that the private sector can assume responsibility and therefore charge the state for providing those same services. We have to ask ourselves whether or not there is that destruction of the public service by having the permanent secretaries disregard the welfare issues of the ordinary staff, which now makes them so demoralized that they cannot provide a service with that alacrity. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning. I'm not 100% sure no, because presently in some financial institutions that you're dealing with all the time, every time you have to do any sort of transaction, they have to get back your ID card, your place address, your job letter, and you're the same person, your ID didn't change, and they still need to get a copy of all those things. I can understand maybe a move, but my ID, so it's just I don't know, maybe it's a stupidity all around. We need to come to the 21st century.
Yes, well said. And let's keep it as constructive as that, because it is aimed at highlighting the deficiencies that exist in the system in order for us to try and improve it. Because when the time comes for us to renew the contract of employment for these people for the next 5, we must ask solid questions.
Yeah. When you jump on a plane and you reach the United States now, the immigration officer will tell you, place your thumb, you rest it on a light. You say, now put your next 4 fingers. You rest it, understand? And he done have your whole life in front of him.
Exactly. And it's not that we don't have it here, you know. It is the slackers that we have at the level of management. Those slackers who operate as though they are a lord unto themselves at the level of the permanent secretaries, who do not engage in the degree of accountability to the supervisors below, to make sure that they perform their jobs with that with the energy and the professionalism required, that is causing all of this bad image of the public service. Good morning.
Morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Yes, you see what your comrade just said there? I was just about to say the same thing. In my lifetime, I think we have upgraded our ID cards about 3 times, and we have done the birth paper about 2 times. And I was just about to say, somewhere in North America, have our whole files down pack, and we origin from Trinidad here, and we have to go through this. That has to be something deliberate.
You understand?
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And keep it as constructive as that, because we want to improve the operational standards of service to the country and to the citizens by pointing out the deficiencies in this public service because of the slackness being cultivated by the managers. Good morning.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning, gentlemen. From my point of view, everything is things here in Trinidad and Tobago. I retired, I worked in System Corporation, I retired since 2014. And up to now, I can't get myself on pay, and I'm sick, and I want the money to buy medication.
Lord.
When I get the first trench, they say, call back in 3 months' time, a year and 6 months gone, and I can't get it. When you check, my son went and checked, they say it had an error. But no, there's a guy inside there who won't bribe. You understand?
Yes.
1 year and 6 months, and I'm sick for
Yes.
straight cancer, want money for medication.
Yes.
You married me, you divorced me, give me what is mine and let me go.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Sorry to hear.
And
Sorry to hear that.
and the dysfunctionalism that is taking place is to open the door for the kind of corrupt and the corruption that is possible when you underpay these public servants, when you keep them in squalid conditions of work, when you keep their standard of living so low that when they look over the fence and they see how their neighbor life is, they are tempted when people come to them to bypass the bureaucracy which is aimed at promoting transparency in the system and equal treatment for all the citizens.
And comrade, you wonder who has to benefit from making these deliverables to the citizenry so inefficient. Why isn't the resources of the country being spent, you understand, to improve these services? And the areas that's supposed to be monitoring and constantly
Upgraded?
reclassifying and making sure that the public service is up to par
Yes.
with the times
Yes.
and the technology. Who benefiting from that?
You know what is so sinful about all of this? These people who actually facilitating it, and I'm talking about the CPO and the Service Commission and the PSs, that when they leave the service, how are they able to justify what Trinidad and Tobago has degenerated to in terms of quality of service delivery from a public service that was once well-oiled and fully operational, when they could have simply kept all the systems functioning, making sure that the relevant training is done, so that you wouldn't have persons, when they move from one department to another, it becomes a dearth of personnel with the information needed to perform the jobs. When last they have training inside of there to specific to the needs of whatever the department is. So now you have people floundering on how to perform a job when they get transferred to to a particular department.
And then your minister, right, in charge of public administration, will come and say, or being reported in the papers as saying that innovative thinking, right, has led him, right, to have a meeting with government and the Service Commission Department for them to take their constitutional mandate, which is to make sure that the hiring practices of the state is a fair, transparent, and equal opportunity for every citizen of this country, and take it from that constitutional body and farm it out to permanent secretaries.
Boy, look how the law has gotten, where they have
innovative thinking,
total disregard for the laws of this country, where you could now come and say, oh, I come up with a bright idea. Let us devolve the functions and give it to the permanent secretaries.
The Constitution give you.
The Constitution give you. And these spineless incumbents at the Service Commission only bobbing their head up and down saying, yes, sir, we will.
No, but guess
acquiesce.
What? Guess what? And that's where the integrity come. And this is where the delinking of the permanent secretaries from the public service and putting them under this SASC. The permanent secretary is going to accept that responsibility. You understand? These people we're talking about, they go accept that. They know fully well it's not the bloody job, you know.
Yes.
But they're going to accept it. Right? And try to do it.
They are destroying the public service, and they are destroying it in a direction that is averse to the interest of not only the civil servants, but to the ordinary citizen. Because you can no longer, or you will no longer be able to have equal opportunity when you apply for a job in the public service by going through the Service Commission.
I miss the Cupids, the Dodgers Allens, the Tin Paws.
The people who had courage.
You know, the Dumas. You understand? Yeah, those permanent secretaries who knew it had a separation between the political directorate and the civil service for a reason. And they used to hold that line, regardless of what. And they know exactly how to tell a politician where to get off.
We are seeing the demise of the public service in such an aggressive but yet clandestine manner, because they're doing it in such a sneaky way that all you're hearing is next morning they come in the media and they say we are going to give the functions of hiring and discipline to the permanent secretaries in an effort to improve the issue of vacancies that exist, because the vacancies is so much in those divisions that the Service Commission can't handle it. So what are they doing up there?
But look at the difference. The GLSC, right? The Judicial and Legal Services Commission. They started to look like if there was having a little closed door thing going there, and like nobody couldn't question what they was doing. And right now they're pulling them to task.
Exactly.
Right? But you ain't hear nobody talking about farming out their duties to anybody else.
No.
You understand? To hire and to do what they was constitutionally mandated to do.
Because you know the watchdog groups, because it's law,
we have a call.
They're making sure and keeping them on their toes. Good morning.
Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Hi. Hello. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Jofil on the panel.
Good morning.
Jofil, I don't say we just allow these things to happen, because I know situation that people work in the public service for some time, 30+ years, right?
Yes.
And when they retire, it takes them a year, sometimes 2 years, sometimes even longer to get their funds, right? Now, I'm saying if you have people in the public service, you have all their information, okay? You would know in 2017, there are going to be 100 people who is going to be retiring, right?
It's
And
painful.
from a year before, you start to take these people information, right? Start to check out the national insurance, whatnot, their gratuity.
The pension and leave
Right?
records. That is what they need.
So when these people retire, within a 2 to 3 months period,
But I
you
find that still too
calling
long.
these people and say, okay, here is your check, right? When you retire at 60 years and you're waiting so long to get your money, who will be maintaining you at the time? Your children? Sometimes these elderly people have to go back out and do security work, do a little
Yes.
work to keep things going,
Well,
right? And you can't tell me we have because that's what I said, the managers in all these systems and them is things, right? Looking at something. Right now I'm hearing on certain stations they are advertising that court staff is taking on people to register for the next semester or something. Why this is not advertised on all the media stations in the country? Why only a few media stations have this record, right? Right? This should be on all, because I'm not even, I just looking at 91.9 right through, and I haven't heard this once on the program, right? So you see the managers and them, right? They have to, if the permanent secretary and them lapsing, they have to bring it to the forefront. But I just say once everybody's salary running all right, they could get a house, a car, and spend return to university. They don't study about the other people. I will call you again. Thank you.
No,
Yes.
I agree with her there.
Yes.
You know, when you're spending the state money for advertising, you have to spread it right across the board. You can't favor one particular
Yes.
network or the
Yes.
next, you know.
And that is if your
And-
interest is based on fairness and equal treatment.
But the comrade was still generous. He said 2 or 3 months your pension, but that is not what the law say. You know?
No.
The law say when you retire, by the next month you should be collecting your pension just like how you're collecting your salary.
The day
You should have no break.
Yes, the day you demit office and you stop getting your monthly pay, that next month you're supposed to be receiving your pension, and it amounts to a dereliction of duty on the part of the finance department.
I will put it squarely in the public administration.
Public ad.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you know why? She raised a serious point there. No. You, the individual. We have a call. I will tell you about it after. Good morning. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Every time that, not every time, every day that you speak on the radio about certain things that's going on in the country, it always leads to bad management.
Yes.
Bad management, because if from the beginning they did good management in this country, my country, you understand?
Yes.
Yeah.
It would have good production.
Yes.
I hear you.
And they can be coming on the radio and a different radio station and blaming the Prime Minister now.
No, it's not the minister, it's not the politician. This is an operational issue. This is about bad managers.
Yes, every day that you speak on the program is bad management you're talking about.
Right,
I know.
and we need
yeah,
we
but
need to
why
fix
it
that.
is I put it in the front. Why it is they blaming the Prime Minister
No,
now
well,
for everything that go wrong?
You haven't heard us do that. You haven't,
Nah.
haven't heard us do that. We keep
Not
putting
you
the
all,
blame.
the callers.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yes, and that's what we just be
Yeah,
trying
the
to tell
callers
them.
on different frequency, they blaming the Prime Minister for all wrongdoing.
Yes,
That they didn't carry on properly.
and the reason for that, okay, thank you. I think the
Yes.
reason for that is because the ordinary citizen has been led to believe that the only way services can run well is if the minister gets involved. The only way any ordinary citizen can get a natural benefit, which is his or hers under the Constitution, is if a minister gets involved. Those are all operational issues.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to the panel. The National Insurance Board. When you go there to clarify a thing, they just have all the information and sending you here, there, and everywhere. And those what you get, that's what they will work out. And they have your whole record here, where you work and where you work. And they just want to check out too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And thank you, caller. And they have citizens being frustrated to the point where they're creating business out of the public service.
Yes.
Where somebody on the outside will tell you, well, here what? I could see about that for you and get it fixed. Right? The corruption. It have a reason they have the system and them so, and they wouldn't fix it.
Nobody is being held accountable.
We have a caller. Good morning, caller.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I make a claim to NIS since January. And we in May. And up to now, I haven't gotten my money up to now. Sometime last month or this month, they tell me got an error on the paper and I have to go back to the doctor. I find these people moving very disalathical, because I don't understand how you don't have things organized there in NIB.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you, caller.
Let them understand that they are there to provide service and to do it so professionally and efficiently that me or we as taxpayers could be proud that I am living in a Trinidad, in a twin island state that is equal to, in terms of global standards, because we have an expectation. Good morning.
Good morning, caller.
Yes, good day again, gentlemen. What the lady said there just now was so true. I had a friend who, when he turned 60, he went, before he paid, he sent him to National Insurance, and they had him, he had to go to about 20 places where he worked. You understand? To get information, right, on the national insurance payment that he made. Some didn't make, right? Now, it came up to 700, and I think he was like about 3 or 4 payments short. You understand? And he got a lump sum when he thought, well, all right, he would be getting his pension, his thing every 3 months, every month.
Yeah.
Right? And he ended up getting a lump sum, and the lump sum still wasn't kind of, but you know, running up and down, all the running up and down he did, he didn't bother with it. He just collected whatever they gave him, understand? And he's satisfied with that. The point I want to make, in the public service, right? There are people who are sending application well qualified for job, right? Recently here, I know of a person who got a job as a manager in Wassa. And within a 2-year period, all their family is employed in Wassa. And it's people who have sent in application to Wassa for years. They give up. They went into postal services and these things. Where is the equality? Right. You going studying with your subject something, and there are people who coming out with nothing, right? And getting and in Wassa, the salary is very good in Wassa and Tiantec and these places, So sometimes you get some of these youth and them, end up on the street, doing wrong things because the system, because you watching your partner and have no subject, and when you watch, you hear you working in Tiantec, you hear you working in Wassa,
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the old people are saying for that. The devil does find work for idle hands to do.
We have to ask ourselves if they really genuinely care about the welfare of the citizens of this country, because they spent a lot of money on gate to allow the education standards to be improved.
Yes, in this country. Yeah.
And people are still underemployed or not employed simply because there seemed to be a lack of drive to fill vacancies where they arise.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I'm a regular listener to the station. There's a guy by the name of Hubert Dolphin, who is a national insurance consultant.
Yes.
Free of charge. And he only appears in one Indian format station. He gives the services free. He can come into any station if you all call him and give it. And you have a lot of people losing money from national insurance.
We'll write down his name and we will.
His number is 625 4636. And the African community is not being educated towards the national insurance services, and they are losing millions of dollars.
Yes.
But
right?
Dolsing is he's an expert in that field. I'm aware of the individual. Yeah.
I think he has 45 or 47 years service with national insurance. He has gotten a national award for services for running free services, and not one non-Indian station requires us.
They want to keep them in total ignorance and full dependence.
And it's free of charge.
Total ignorance and full dependence. That is what they want to keep them in. Anyway, thank you very much for your contribution. And we are saying, comrades, that for us to fix this public service, for us to fix this state of Trinidad and Tobago, we have to be serious. We have to lay it on the table and call it for what it is, because we are actually steering some kind of degrading of standards and quality of living and standard of living in the face in years to come if we do not address it. Good morning.
Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Gentlemen.
Just lower your volume a little bit.
I listen to this program every morning.
Yes.
And I was about looking for the number.
Just lower your volume a little bit, please.
I was looking for the number to call the station.
To
give you that same information that the last caller gave you.
Yes.
Because when I had to get my national insurance, I was advised after running to them move on with it, getting a run around. So, go to the welfare, and by chance I happened to get somebody who introduced me to Winter Dolphin. And when I went to him, they were a little short on cash. Told them that please give them some time to straighten the total amount. I didn't have all the contributions that I got, and I went to him and he checked it out correct after that.
Excellent.
He is a very, very good man. He is on Victoria Square East in Port of Spain.
We will check it out.
Yes. And that number the guy gave you, I have a ticket here. That's his number.
We will check it out.
And it is free of charge. But as everything else, if you have God and a conscience and you have love, for what?
And if you care about people,
like a donation.
If you care about people,
yes.
All
care about people. He is a very good guy. Now let me tell you something. One of the things is going to be a little off, but similarity. In this country, the people who have business, private business, but they serve the public, so they come like public servants still. They are as much disgusting as what you are talking about. People are working and they are doing work. They have things arranged in a way that you have a choice. Your work is not easy to get. You have your family, you have your mortgage, you have your car, etc.
So they're exploiting
in a position that you cannot see. You're not working, so you have to take it until whenever you could get something, which is very difficult to get.
Yes.
Thanks very much. Every time you come up with this radio, I listen to you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
and you are educating the public. I hope they take it, getting it free.
Yes.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, you too. Bye.
We have to call a spade a spade. people playing games with the welfare and the minds. They're playing games with the welfare and the minds of the citizens of this country. Every time the contract come up for renewal, they come and they promise you grand things. And we engage in a degree of loyalty that is so stunning that it makes you ask yourself if we are thinkers and critical thinkers at that.
It brings you to...
Because the exchange that we get makes you ask yourself is, wait now, did I just go through 3 months of running up and down the place for improvement only to come and get this?
The old Prime Minister, the one that passed, used to always draw an example of Singapore, a country with absolutely no natural resources. And look what they have done with their economy. And we in this country, with the amount of money, these things that we're talking about, the citizens of this country should never be going through this nonsense.
These people are so evil that they choose not to regard the recognized unions that are supposed to look after the interest of the workers in all these agencies. They're bypassing them with impunity, and they are going about taking their decisions to implement whatever plans they have. And it is being done in such a roughshod manner that it causes the staff to feel oppressed. Good morning.
Yeah, morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
You know, I attempted to ask this question. How much does, capitalism, racism, cronyism have to do with this planned dismantling of the public service? And who are the persons? That the same question you asked earlier on, because it was in my mind to call in and ask the question. Who are the persons that are going to benefit?
Yeah.
Thank you.
That is it.
Yeah.
Because it's certainly in the citizens.
I didn't want to stifle my conscience, so I had to call in and still ask.
Yes, and ask it. Thank you. Thank you, comrade.
But you know, comrade, we all know the answer to the question. Yeah? We know, yeah? But we asking the question. But we know who they are.
And we have to ask it, because Trinidad and Tobago have to wake up from the stupor that they seem to be in. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I listen to the program and I hear Felicity just now about the unions and the companies not respecting the unions. What about some of these unions that who desires to dip their hand under the table, collect a package? And I talking with experience because I want to talk. Who desires to collect a package and put it up front as though they're doing something and nothing is being done?
Yes.
We clear about that, because in the public service we had one of them. We had one of them, right? Because the public service, I am clear, in my opinion, public servants were sold out,
and that is why
under that last regime there,
and that is why, right?
We see, and that person just stepped straight over into politics.
It's sad, you know. Now we have 5 RHAs and the Minister of Health saying that they're being run like what?
No, there are 5 little ministries.
5 little ministries.
He said that in one breath, and the following day, he had some consultation. He understands some up in St. Augustine up there, and he said they like little children. These like 5 little children, and you can't leave them unsupervised.
And now they want to come and privatize the functions or the agencies that's supposed to collect 94% of the revenue in this country. And they're doing it quietly with no reference to the recognized union and having any discussions. They would have brought it a couple times, some time ago, and it failed. But they have come back here, and they're bringing it back with...
Tell me which authority they create that working, Comrade Joe. Tell me.
They want to bring on this revenue authority.
Solution.
Now, who will benefit when you privatize customs and Board of Inland Revenue? Who will benefit? And what is ordinary citizens doing? You know what, we so caught up with pretty cell phone, and we pants down under the waistline and the jersey that Mark Hill figure or whoever it is, that we don't have time to question these things, which is affecting our standard of living and our quality of life, and watching the crime escalate,
spiral out of control is more like it,
and the jails burst
at the seams.
And they spend a lot of money to broaden that place up in Maloney up there. Millions of dollars to make a fully secure prison for people.
They might as well just build it right around the country and done. Build the walls right around the country and all of we live in jail and done.
What is happening in this country? And every 5 years, all you coming to ask us to renew all your contract of employment, and all you bringing grand ideas, and all you not listening to what the ordinary citizen wants, you know.
I want all that free education that them university students and them get. All you wake up, you know, young people. Wake up, because old people had to dead. All you had to run this country. You see these recycled politicians that we keep bringing back every 5 years, the same damn people over and over, and they're doing the same rubbish over and over. All your young people in the university, all you wake up, and you understand? Get something new.
And it is benefiting the invisible few. Where they live in, you and I know, it benefiting them.
This country need patriots now. Patriots.
Put Trinidad and Tobago first. Put up the standard of the public service first. We can't take any more calls. Let me just close off. We need to prioritize. We need to see. We need to stop. We need to reverse and say, reset it. Reset it, and let us start to get the public service back to that state where there was it used to operate with efficiency, with integrity, with standards of transparency and fair treatment, that any citizen, when they come, they could either get a job, or they could have gotten, provided that they're properly qualified, or they could have gotten any service that they were entitled to when they go to that ministry.
Yeah, with free from encumbrance.
Free. We even, look, now you telling me that food coming into this country and we cannot, or we haven't had it tested. We have over 10,000 pharmacies and almost the same amount of groceries in this country, and you have a staff establishment for the Food and Drug Division as for when we were up in 1965, when this country was born. Trinidad and Tobago, we'll be back tomorrow.
All you wake up.
We are putting up a resistance.
Broadcasting from Trinidad to the world, the Street 919FM.com.